we're gonna just go for it. We're gonna go for it. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening. I am just going to check the stream. All of a sudden, yeah, why? Oh, Creative Cloud. No, I don't need you. Adobe, go. Sorry, everyone. I'm just trying to make sure that it's running in. It's going way not smooth. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Good evening. Good. Why is that so bad? It was like working, and then all of a sudden it got unsmooth, and so I'm trying to figure out what needs to be force closed on my computer. So if things move from being really jerky to then me moving smoother again, I'm not playing on the mini player because it seems like I can't watch what's actually coming through on YouTube right now. So if things smooth out, let me know. So okay, yes, the green tones are very reminiscent to what I got in that Leave No Dye Behind skein. I think I even mentioned this picture at the end of that video because I knew when did I film? I knew when I filmed that this was probably going to be the September dial-on photo. I took this picture in July, I think is when I took it. It seems okay? All right. I seem okay now? Thank you. I'm going to trust you guys and let's get started. Hi, everyone. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, sitting on the floor of the other side of my kitchen today. And welcome to the September 2020 ChemKnits Dial-On live stream. Every month I pick a photo, some like this one that I took myself, others that I might pull from other sources, and the goal is to use this photo to pick our colors and sometimes techniques for dyeing some yarn. And so this is a rock that was part of a tide pool on Cape Cod on the bay side, if anyone is in New England and curious. And the colors of the like mossy greens, those bits of white, and then that bright, more chartreuse green really, really excited me. And I thought it would make a great dye-along. And let's see what it's going to tell me. No, it's not going to tell me any update on that. All right. Just still checking that stream health. But yeah, so this is our dye-along. And oh, it's a dye-along. So I'll be dyeing one version of the colorway here in the stream tonight. But I invite all of you to create your own, whether it's copying and doing a dupe of whatever I create. You are more than welcome to copy what I do. Or, excuse me, you can create your own colorway inspired by this same photo. If you want to be featured in the recap, and I would feature some of your yarn, share your photo on Instagram with the hashtag ChemKnitsDialong, which you can see, yep, there. Or you can find this photo, this photo on Facebook, and on the public ChemKnits Facebook page, it's just facebook.com/ChemKnits, and reply with the yarn you want to use, or the yarn that you dyed. Yeah, it is so, this one is just so fun. And I love, it's funny, I know, except with the exception of the clock recently, a lot of the inspiration photos I tend to go for are things in nature. And a lot of times, I sometimes pick carefully because there's so much green in nature, which, don't get me wrong, I love green, but sometimes I don't want green to be the focus. Well, tonight, it's all about green. And I think the other thing that's fun about this picture is it's a very summery picture. I mean, we were on the beach. It was really early in the morning because then there was no one else there. But it was still warm enough to like just be, and the kids were digging, making little pools and looking for hermit crabs and all kinds of stuff. And so it's very summery, but I think the colors that we're going to create are going to be very fall-like. So one really, really nice thing about, I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, other announcements. There are more samplers available for the ChemKnits Hanukkah special in 2020. That is not my last link. I think this link. There's more. The DK is currently sold out, but there are figurine weight samplers left, and there will be a couple more DK once I ship out the first batch, which I'm hoping to do at the very end of October or very early November. And Dive into Dyeing Level 2, the second lesson, just arrived this afternoon. So I will be unboxing that probably tomorrow along with my September knit crates. But all of the videos I filmed for Knit Crate are on the Dyer Supplier YouTube channel. If you don't know, Dive into Dyeing is a Learn to Dye subscription with some course information that I helped with. I filmed, and it's a lot of fun. But the videos are available so that way anyone can watch them. So if you're not ready to dive into dyeing quite yet, you can go watch the videos, which are made to be very beginner friendly. So that I think is all my announcements. And so I'm having computer issues, right? I got a new computer. I haven't set it up yet, but I did just buy a new computer. It's been time. The new one will be the first official ChemKnits computer. This was technically a personal computer that then was used for both personal, and then ChemKnits sort of took over a lot of it. But I have a computer that hopefully will be powerful enough to handle more stream and video processing, and I'm very excited and terrified because I don't know, I get really stressed out when it comes to new computers. But anyway, let me show you what I have to show you. I did a little homework today and actually got started. Where can my face go? Okay, maybe we'll do this. Maybe I'll go up here. All right, and I got started doing some swatching. A lot of times I like to do this type of swatching at the beginning of a dialogue because sometimes I have a sense of the colors I want, but can't decide between two browns or two reds, and therefore I really like to then go and test the colors. But I did it this afternoon, and I will include the process of swatching this in the recap. So I'll have that as a time lapse at the beginning. But I'm telling you, I became really prepared. Wait, okay, wait, I should make that go away and that go away. All right, so here are the Dharma acid dye colors that I used for the swatch. And so it is still in the pan, but a lot of times when I swatch things, I like to then label it with the color names because this is a very crude swatch. I took little bits of dye powder, put it on some yarn with vinegar, just random amounts, moved it around a little bit just to see what I could see and to get a sense of the relative hues. And I think, oh, no, sorry guys, moving the, no. Here we go. I'm gonna move this into the middle. So my sense, the colors that I want to use, because I think I'm going to be dealing with the dry powders today. My favorites for this are chartreuse, lichen, sand dune, and golden straw. The golden straw next to the photo looks a little, right here, it looks a little too yellow. Oh, why can't I? Here we go. But I think that mixed in the sand dune, which I keep referencing with my mouse. Okay, I'll come up here. The sand dune, I think, is a little too cool toned for what I want. So I think sort of my thought is for the sand and a little bit of the rock, I kind of want to layer the sand dune and the golden straw a little bit.
I also kind of liked the tobacco leaf, which is back here, but the golden straw actually seems to be a fairly similar tone to the halo around the tobacco leaf, which
I thought was pretty fun. So I'm going to pull the swatches back up. So those are, I guess, the, yeah, and what's really interesting about this is the difference between the colors here. So just right now, pay attention to the difference between lichen and chartreuse, which are both on the bottom of the screen. And the lichen is a much browner color. So here's our lichen, here's the chartreuse. Lichen is still very much a green. It's very, this I think is moss green. This is a very mossy color to me. But when you look at the swatches on the jars, and these swatches are from the poster you can buy from Dharma. I like to tape them onto the top. That's a trick that Little Bean Loves Yarn taught me. The color on there looks very, very similar. So sometimes, and technique dependent, just like avocado for me always comes up way more teal. So some colors just behave slightly differently. Now, one other color that I wanted to point out, give you a closer look at, is this olive brown. And I think, nope. Although, okay, I can show you this. This is a close-up. Check out, like, isn't that so cool looking? The close-up of the rock. Okay. Here's the olive brown picture. So I'm not sure how clearly you guys can see. It's, I think, even a little more obvious now. The olive brown breaks green and is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. And I'm really excited to play with that more sometime in the future. One other thing worth noting is that a bunch of these colors are new for me. So I think this was champagne is new, the golden straw is new, olive brown. I think that this is fawn, that wasn't new. That was tobacco leaf. Avocado was not new. Moss green, lichen. This is radioactive down here, and this is chartreuse. Yeah, I am excited. Now, before we go and move on, I'm going to check the chat before I pick this up. So yes, chartreuse and radioactive, and I'll pop back in. What? Oh, I should actually turn it on. So chartreuse and radioactive are very, very similar. I would say the main difference is radioactive. The halo feels more neon, for sure. I'm not sure if Dharma chartreuse glows. I haven't tested that yet. I believe that Jacquard chartreuse does, that's their neon green from Jacquard. Champagne is really pretty. It was a lot more orange than I thought. But of course, when you just put the powder on something, it's going to be more concentrated than it would if you were trying for like a 0.5% depth of shade to get like a soft champagne color. So, have I ever tried to lighten color with titanium dioxide? That will not work. There's titanium dioxide in a lot of food coloring. It rinses out. It is more of a like, it's a particle versus something that's soluble, and it's not something that'll bind to the fiber. It works for like sort of shifting the color for like icing and things like that, but it wouldn't work in a beverage or in a dye stock or something. It sort of settles to the bottom. Nice. So the titanium dioxide, there's several grays in the 50 Nifty. Yeah, so I think that if you want to get more of a gray, just dilute your dye more is what I would recommend. Yeah, so I've definitely swatched all of the 50 colors of AmeriColor food coloring, and yeah, so I have, I unboxed fairly recently like all these new to me Dharma acid dye colors, and They've been waiting for me in the box. Oh, good. I have an excellent connection again. I wonder if this, I'm going to risk just, whoop, that's, okay, it's looking smooth. But am I correct? Okay, cool. Pause that. Okay. Oh, I was going to turn the screen off because I thought it was the photo, but it is not. And I may have to be careful with my volume. Normally, the camera with the microphone is over on my island. So right now, it's the camera I'm filming with because I gave Keith the other camera for work. So I might have to reclaim it. So I don't know. Oh, I think we actually got really good color absorption. But let's see what the other side looks like. There's a lot of white left. I could add a little more color. Okay, guys, here's my debate. I want to have like a yarn mop to wipe my fingers on. I'm considering using this as that yarn mop. What do you think? Should I use this as a yarn mop or start over with a fresh skein for the yarn mop? So this has already been set and all that jazz, and it's a fun, fairly random color. There is some amount of color penetration all the way through. There are definitely going to be sections that have less pigment, but and some largish white areas. But I think, like, I don't think there's any rounds that are completely white. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about that. So let's see. So for yarn today, I'm just using Stroll, keeping it simple. Make this one the mop. Okay. Awesome. Okay, that's a fun way to do it. Let's see. In that case, I will do 3 skeins right now. So I pre-soaked the yarn for, I don't know how long. I don't know how long. So here is 300 grams of fairly saturated Stroll that are just coming into the pan. Okay. I have no idea how people do 400 grams of yarn in these pans. Like, I feel like I can barely do 3. And I still flip like 10 million times. Okay, I want to add more water. And we're going to be ultra scientific about things tonight. And just add a glug of vinegar. Oh dear. I'll probably add even more water. That's not bad. Oh, see, there's a little color left in there. I'm not worried about it. I could have wiped the edges if I was concerned, but I am not. This actually is not bad. But I am moving it because I just poured the vinegar like in the middle and I want it to be a little more mixed up. I think I want more water still. So that way the yarn will sort of rise up a bit and that lets the color spread through more. The more you want the color to strike right where you put it, you want less water in the pan. The more water you have, the easier it is for that dye to spread. So if I speckle on top, it might look like there's a lot of space and color on the surface, but when you flip it, you'll have seen some of that color move more through because there's like the yarn isn't as compressed. Well, so I see a comment to use
my swatch skein is the yarn mop, which I am going to do, but the suggestion said to add pinks to it. And the thing with the yarn mop is typically when I'm doing those, now this yarn is sort of free floating in here. Awesome. When I'm doing a yarn mop, I really, really want to use color that is left over from my project. So I'm not going to be going and pulling additional colors to put on it, but you certainly can. Washing my hands. So a few little disclaimers. I'm going to start heating this up. Since we are playing with acid dice today, everything we are using, I'll sit down. Since we're dealing with acid dyes today, everything we're using is dedicated for dyeing yarn and is not used in the preparation for food. So this pan, any spoons and things like that that I'm using, all just for dyeing yarn. I also will be getting a lot more muffled shortly because I'm going to wear a respirator mask, safety glasses, and gloves when I have dry powder open. When the powder is wet and the jars are closed again, then I'm comfortable taking my mask off. So that's like my comfort level, but other people might choose to leave it on until the dyeing is done. But the respirator isn't used to filter out. It's basically mostly to protect you from inhaling dry dye particles. And thankfully, from like wiping the rubber surface of the mask, I've never actually found dye on the mask, which is great. But the main thing is that I don't think a lot of dye usually comes up in the air anyway. But if you were to trip and spill the dye container, that's a big reason why you want the glasses and everything on. It's sometimes safety is okay, you know, maybe things might be okay, but you definitely want to be protected in case like something isn't, right? And so I try to be like very, very, very careful with that because you only, like, your lungs are important. 4-week-old granddaughter. Let's see. These are full-size 4-inch deep pans, and I should have it linked in the video description. In all the videos that I do, I try to link my favorite equipment. I even have a blog post with my favorite tools and equipment, and I also try to, in general, link to the yarn bases that I use in that video. Today, I've just linked to Dyer Supplier and Knit Picks, but I feel like I'm going to sneeze, and now it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, so that's today I'm using Knit Picks yarn. It's good that these sessions are being recorded in case of a happy accident, so you get an idea of replicating. Yup. Oh man, I keep looking at the like, I'm gonna just move this so I can't see the little screen thing, so I can just see the chat because it's freaking me out because I have it paused so we run smoothly, but it's making it look frozen, and that is not what I wanted to do. My pleasure. I was gonna stand up, but then I was like, I can like see in here, and I think I had like a little bit of fuzz. Oh man, what else was going on? Oh, first week of school. So Lucas had 2 hybrid days this week, and then today was a half day of actual like remote learning with his teacher. And then Thursday and Friday are remote learning, but he'll have like specials like gym and library and music and things like that. And so you can follow me on Amazon? I didn't know that. But I do, yeah, I am an Amazon affiliate. So when I have Amazon links, I do earn commissions from those. I'm also affiliate with like Knit Picks and Dyer Supplier and Knit Crate. I try to like make it very clear what our affiliate links down in the description. But yeah, so we'll see how tomorrow goes. Today, so Lucas is in 1st grade. Today his teacher had kept the Zoom open when they were doing independent work, even if they were on recess or like, you know, she's like, okay, leave like the screen. Then she would call them back to the computer, which worked really well. But I don't think that's how it's going to work tomorrow. And so I'm
we'll see how it goes. But it was nice. Like, he'll get to see his, like, for maybe about an hour in the afternoon tomorrow and Friday. He'll get to see his main teacher. But anyway, it is. I have not had September has not been a month for getting things done. Ryder's been back in school since the beginning of the month, so he started sooner. But since he's still in pre-K, he's at a private school. So. Hello, hello. And I haven't started yet because we're still warming up. I see. Look, it feels like I see steam. I'm not seeing any movement. Maybe a hint of movement. It's pretty. I hear something. Okay. Pan is definitely getting warm. Oh man, yeah. I normally sit on the other side, but realizing with only one webcam, I'm like, if this is pointed towards the sink, I can't exactly sit on the other side of the room because I don't think anyone would be able to hear me. And the audio through there is not very good. So we'll see how the new computer goes. It's a beefy laptop, and I think we made a mistake, or I made a mistake, and it's big. I think 17 inches, and I think it might be too big. But also it might be better because, like, having the bit, I just will have to get used to it. Oh, the shawl's coming along great. Yeah, remind me at one of the next. Okay, we're not warm enough yet. I'll go get it. Except the chair is blocking the path, so I have to walk all the way around the island. I'm almost a third done. So this is my moving forward shawl that is part of a knit along, and that is the wrong side. I dyed this yarn. It will be in a video once I finish the shawl, and wow, you really can't get a sense of the color. But it is just this wrap, and it's just a simple chevron with repeating, like, lacy sections, and it's so pretty, and I'm really excited. And so I'm a little nervous though, because I think I'm definitely going to finish the 10th section. There's 5 repeats of 6 sections plus 1, so I guess there's 31 sections. I have a little over 300 grams of yarn. I have this much left, and I've almost finished the 10th. So I'm probably going to have to remove 1, and I guess by 1 I'd have to remove 2 sections, but we'll see. We'll see. And by sections, I don't mean like a whole section. It's just everything's separated by garter stitch, so I'll probably have to remove like one of the lace sections and 1 garter section. So, but we will see. Right. Ooh, you're gonna be streaming and you're gonna die streaming on Twitch? Oh, that's awesome. No, it's actually a purple. It's a layered purple. If you go to my Instagram, the integrated camera on here is not very good. I dyed it in multiple layers of of red and blue, and so it's a tonal purple, but rather than having hue shifts, rather than having depths of shade shifts, it has hue shifts. But yeah, once the shawl is done, then I will edit that dye pot weekly. And hello. The pattern is from Denise Byron, Byron Handmade, and she's doing a knit along right now. And so I'm not sure when the next Zoom is, but I actually shared my progress in the last Zoom, and I was so nervous, which was really, really funny,
So I'm like, I talk all the time, but I don't normally see everyone else's faces. So I was like really shy, feeling really shy, which I think is hilarious. All right, I'm putting my mask on. But I want you guys to see, this is my respirator. Okay. I am a lot more muffled. Okay. Oh, I need a spoon. Where's my spoon? Oh, what the hell? Okay, so there's a few ways we could do this. I could aliquot some of the dye powder into cups, but then I'd be keeping the mask on longer. So I'm going to be going directly into the dye jars with dry fingers, speckling on here. I mean, I'll be wearing gloves. My hands are bare right now. And then I'm going to wipe my gloves on here, then rinse my hands, dry them before going into another color. And that's just so I can try to avoid introducing moisture into my dye jars so they last longer. You can purchase the pattern. Carol, the pattern's for sale on Ravelry, so you don't have to be part of the knit along. Okay. Okay. I am going to start with, I feel like starting with sand dune feels appropriate. This is a color that I really, really like, and I feel like I'm going to need some more of. So I'm kind of making this up as I go along. But so I could not help it, but I'm aiming for some sort of patchy. I actually like this color. I'm trying to keep my fingers nice and dry. The thing to keep in mind also is there's a lot of dye, or a lot of yarn under the surface. So we'll have multiple layers that we can do. The thing with this dye is of a lot of the colors I'm using, there's not going to be very much on my fingertips. So when I wipe it onto the yarn mop, there's just not much that gets on there. Because it is a very soft, more pastel color. And so using the amount of powder I used, the colors are fairly spread out, but we do have some speckles in here, which I like. I like that texture. Okay. Rinsing off my gloves. The reason for rinsing off the gloves as well is so I don't introduce other colors in. So I think what I want to do is do like a little test of the straw. Because I kind of like them together. Okay, looking at this now, I think I see some blue and some red come through in here, just as a FYI. There's definitely some red in the golden straw. It's funny, I didn't notice that before, but I wasn't entirely just speckling with it. Okay. I need to think about what I want to do. I also should just pull up the picture since we've got a section in here in shadow anyway. Oh, that's a little more dye. Let's see. There's some people that can use the same pair of gloves for weeks. I don't know how. Hey! My light came on. What? See, my microwave is kind of broken, and the light coming on is totally random. I used to use that all the time, and you have to replace the microwave. Okay. So, actually, I don't like that. Well, let's go. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do this. And like where I want the different colors to be. Okay, I think I'm gonna go lichen next. Because I'm not sure how much I like the straw. And look at the color that lichen is. Like, it's so wild. It just like immediately sort of like shifts to this like dirtier green. And then, see, it's got a lot more depth to it. Okay, I'm going to try with my hand and go in more. But actually, I like layering this over that straw. I'm not sure if the extra yellows are coming through. But I like that depth. Too bad. I'm always like, oh, I really love how this is looking. But then it's always like, who knows how it's going to look. Thankfully, this is going down a few layers, but who knows how it's going to look once I rotate it. But these three colors on top of each other are amazing. Amazing. Okay. Yeah, so I knew I liked sand dune. And then with the golden straw, I wasn't sure how I would like it, and it was a little too yellow for me. But I like those pops of yellow in there. And I'll take a picture of that and post it on Instagram in a moment. Once I do the chartreuse. I'm going to reduce the heat. And this is a color that has some more pop to it. And I'm overlapping it a bit. I think this is very much like radioactive. Actually, I like that. The way that this is going right now, the chartreuse has these green speckles surrounded by that brighter color, which is so pretty. So I'm letting it sit for a minute, and then I'm going to come touch it. I'm wiping my fingers on the mop. Ooh, cool. Some of that more green is also spreading. Ooh, I like that. I like that brightness. We're only going down a couple layers, but I think maybe I should push the chartreuse a little higher and have some like tiny bits down there So I think I'm going to come in with a little more. I need to dry my hand first. I'm going a bit literal tonight. And so a few pops down there. Now, again, I haven't used these colors before, so I don't know exactly how they'll behave, but I really like it. I really like it. Oops, I don't want to spread that yellow too much. How far down is this going? It's going on a couple layers, so that's good. All right, now I'm going to set a timer. Oh, this is so pretty. Okay, but I want to hide those whites I exposed. Okay, let me take this thing. The drawers are closed. I'm just trying out the gloves so I can take them off. Then I can come see what you think. But I'll take a picture for Instagram. The colors are actually looking fairly true. Although I don't think, oh, so nice. Okay, I don't think you can appreciate the details and the depth that is down here. Oh man, I don't know if I'll be able to get it. There's some glare, but I know if I turn off the light, then I'll never get it back. Too much glare. There we go. Better? Nope. It's too shiny. I need to like block. Which light is the problem? The problem is that there's too many lights. Oh, a little bit. Let's see. Still not the best representation, but I'll post these. I'm just at ChemKnits on Instagram. So I will post this. Nope. So I would say that this is more green than it looks on my phone. I think it's looking fairly brown. Trying to see if there's a filter. No. Okay, I posted both the stories. Yeah, this definitely looks very like mossy to me. It's definitely a brownish green, but it is definitely a green. So I am actually pretty happy with this. And then, ooh, maybe like as I go on, I should add top pops of this color down at the other end too. Let's see. Okay, I'm going back in. You need to get yourself a yarn bowl. Yarn bowls are awesome. Oh, I put mine away. Although, okay, so I just said yarn bowls are awesome. I think they're awesome. I don't use them a lot. I don't find yarn bowls to be helpful with yarn cakes, but what I have now at the end, it was a cake and I was going from the center, and then I wound the rest into a hand pull ball because it was starting to get to the point where you might worry about tangles. And at that point, then I put it in the yarn bowl and it's been great. So, did you miss much? No.
So Carol, the shawl is, or the wrap, it's called the Moving Forward Wrap. And Denise Byron, Bayron, I think is how you spell her name. But I believe that I've tagged the knit along on Instagram. So yes, I'm using Stroll, and I used Lichen. So the color close, this color is Lichen, Golden Straw, and some Sand Dune, and it is fairly green. Sand Dune is all over. Then we've got the next one is Chartreuse, and then a little bit on the part that you can't see is just mostly Sand Dune with a tiny bit of that Chartreuse. So the first color was sand. Yeah, I guess I just went through that. Thank you, thank you. A bunch of these are new to me colors, and I'm glad that I got them actually, because when I played around earlier today, and I'll pull up these swatches again that I did when I played with them. I think of the ones on the screen right now. Radioactive I had, Sand Dune I had, and Avocado and Fawn were ones that I had. And so the rest are all new. New to me, not new to Dharma, but these are all Dharma acid dyes. And I don't think I'm going to be, oh, I love it. I love it so much. I don't think I'm going to be, it's funny, I don't always know what I'm going to do. I thought that maybe I might go all over and a little more like random and splotchy, but then I started this and I was like, oh no, I'm going to go more like repeating and be literal on the photograph. But part of me also wanted to just take these colors and sort of place them randomly all over like I like to do sometimes. So, yeah, it can be hard to decide sometimes. Oh man, but I'm having fun with this. I feel like a comfort is to go random. And so when I go more like repeating is when I get more nervous, because then I'm like, well, I want good coverage all the way through. And so I'm like, well, I got to do that. And so then I get stressed. But yeah, I've got, if the last 2 weeks have been any indication, the fall is going to be really hard. Really, really hard. I am trying to be optimistic. So with ChemKnits Hanukkah, I have filmed all 8 nights, plus some bonuses to fit in there that sort of like there's a question and then I had to answer a question because I had to answer the question and try something out again. But I'm this weekend going to film the full skeins, or at least half of the full skeins, and then do the other half probably next weekend is the plan. But I did pre-film a lot of stuff for the rest of the year. But yeah, it's just, normally Wednesdays are a film day. And Lucas's desk is like, not right next to the kitchen, but there's, if my pantry were shut, I would be able to see his desk. And so it's loud. And I was like, oh, there'll be times when it's quiet. Nope. It's never quiet. And he can be quiet and I can film with him around, but with like other kids like on Zoom, it's just a lot. It's a lot. So, oh my gosh. Yeah. We'll see. I'm confident that I'll be able to keep up the schedule, but I know that like, okay, Rebecca, I need to like, because at one point I was like, ooh, I have this really, really idea of a Halloween colorway I really, really want to make. And there's a chance I could still do it for Dead Hot Weekly and just do like 2 or 3. But I was like, oh, it would be so fun. And I had this whole idea. And then I was like, Rebecca, you need to like take a step back. So maybe next year I'll do this like fun Halloween idea I had. Ooh, you did some daylilies. Ooh, I hope that it works. That sounds really pretty though. It's hard to know with different natural dyes what will and will not work. Uh-oh. Excuse me a moment. Hey, kids. Hey. Huh. Mommy is allowed to see me. No more talking. It is rest time. Tomorrow is a school day. We lay down and go to sleep. Oh my. Oh. The kids begged us to let them sleep together and share a room. I never set a timer. Set one for 4 minutes. Let's see how Chartreuse is doing. That's not bad. And honestly, I don't mind if a little of the color like spreads. So, yeah, so some things definitely on the fly. I've got, wait, I can't remember if there's one that I need that now need to film the audio for. I don't even know. Everything's all like so I have a really awesome die cut PS coming out. Actually, I think last month was really cool too. So the one that will be public soon is really cool, but the one I just filmed is like I'm really excited about. Or I filmed it at the beginning of the month, and I'm just getting into the editing now. But there's probably gonna be like 8 minutes of me talking about calculations because I decided to try showing it as I was working on it. So we'll see what you guys think. But it might be a pretty long video. Oh yes, mom life. Oh my gosh. Oh man. All right. I think I need to flip. It's also really nice sitting down, but it's really nice dyeing yarn. But I don't want to put the rest on. I don't know if any of the rest of you that use that think that way, but oh, I don't know if I haven't linked in this video. I do have a blog post on my website, ChemKnits.com. The respirator, and I haven't checked, the respirator that I use from Dharma Training Company has been out of stock for a while. And so I asked some other indie dyers and I got some other sources for where you might buy some other P100 masks for dyeing yarn. Please, 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 if you are going to start dyeing with acid dyes, make sure you have a respirator mask of some kind for using with the acid dyes. I do not recommend like a cloth mask, the kind that we're all wearing right now. Those are great for droplets and things like that, but it's not going to keep fine powders out, and so I do not recommend using those. So I do have a blog post on that if you are looking for one to get started. So thank you. I'm trying. It's all like, oh. Yeah. To be fair, I get overwhelmed really easily under like regular circumstances. That is not cold. Okay, so you can see that we've got a fair amount of white. You can see some hints of some color, like that sand dune coming through. But we've still got a fair amount of white. And yeah, so we'll be doing a few flips. But
I'm also going to give myself permission if I start to crash to finish off camera at a stage. But I have a feeling we're going to do at least 3 flips, and I also just might not wait as long in between the next ones. But yeah, this is why, like, how on earth do people use 4? I do not know. Oh, thank you, timer. Thank you. And the mop is all nice and moppy. I'm really glad. So if you're just tuning in, I guess I should have swatched at the beginning. This should be on DVR, so you should be able to go back and see that. But, sorry, just catching my breath. But I'm using that swatch skein as the mop tonight. Ooh! Oh, Christine, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. I was up here and I saw a little dancing figure, and thank you so much. I'm like, and now, if I talk too fast in the mask, then I start coughing. Oh, and the other thing I'll say about the mask I'm using is that it is great for keeping out dye particles. It is not a good mask for any COVID reasons, and that is because it has 2 valves. So everything I breathe out just goes straight out. So that is not what you want. Not at all. But anyway. But yeah, at first when things started, I was like, masks. I have masks aplenty. But I have an old N95 that I used when I started dyeing yarn. But even those are hard to get and are needed more for first responders. And I see another super chat and I can't see who it is yet. I will go check as soon as I cat out this sand dune. I feel like I did more down there this time, but that's okay. I'm okay with there being some amount of white. I just don't want large patches of white. And the sand dune really doesn't add a lot to the mop, but oh, this is so fun. Okay. Oh, Claire, thank you so much. Thank you. Now, I will say, I am so, thank you. I feel I'm very lucky in my pupil for helping with homeschool, because Lucas is he is such an eager learner and student that it makes my job a lot easier. But the other thing I'll say that's making all of this possible is I have a really supportive partner in Keith. And I don't think I could do half of this without him, and I don't think he could do half of it without me. And so it really does feel like a partnership. And I think in our wedding vows, we did something like, I choose you as my partner, my friend, my husband and wife kind of. It was all part of it because we're in this together, and it's funny because I had a lot more experience with kids before we had kids, but he's such a good dad, and just knows, he does all the dishes, he does bedtime, and I like that. Should I add some of this straw color down here? Maybe a hint. Let me just like, oh, the problem is that it had that red in it. That's why. It's got some red and blue, so never mind. I mean, I added some, but I take it back. I take it back. Not what I'm saying about my husband, and I take back the wanting to add that color down there, but that's fine. It's fine. All right, now I'm coming in with the lichen. Yeah. Oh. All right, down here. This is the one problem with like things shifting over. It's that like not being able to see. I think lichen is absolutely going to be a favorite. I think lichen is closer to what I wanted avocado to be. I don't know if it's just my technique. Like, why is avocado teal for me? That is something that I don't think I'm ever going to really understand. Oh, this is so pretty. I want to speckle with this color for like days and days and days. And I love like just getting some like lips, dirtying it up. Oh, this is just exciting me so much. These like layers. I could do a whole colorway just like this, and I think it would be amazing. And I definitely need to remember that, that I'm liking that so much. It is so gorgeous. Okay, I need a towel. Let's see. Chartreuse, we're coming for you. Okay, and because the way things are sort of like squished up, these aren't going to be like sharp lines. So when I'm doing this, I'm taking a fine pinch of the powder, and then I am sort of like I was trying to sprinkle sugar onto like a cake or something. I'm just trying to not get clumps, but to really spread it out. And then do some tiny amounts down there and a little bit up there as well. And I will move things around more once I wipe my fingers off. It's so funny working on this yarn mop right now because some of these colors have set and others haven't yet on the mop because I did cook it. I love these like deeper pops of green that come out from the lichen. I think that that is so pretty. I almost put my fingers just straight in. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this time I'm actually going to set a timer. Let's try 5 minutes. Nope. Okay. I try to reuse gloves as much as I can, but sometimes my hands just get too sweaty. Does anyone else's hands sweat, or is it just me? Oh gosh, so here's a funny story. For Lucas's school, a neighbor who's a landscaper, he donated a bunch of like stumps to use in the garden, and so we were spraying them to seal them in. And when we were doing this, and I was spraying, and it wasn't that long, and I take off the glove, and my hand is just dripping. No, at first I was freaked out that the like spray went into the glove. No. It was to be fair, it was a really hot day, but it was just really funny.
So I wonder if my avocado isn't that well mixed, or if it is a because there's definitely a pigment in there. Like if I mix avocado, at the end of it, it starts being the avocado-y color, and then the browns come in. So something just isn't dissolving very fast at all. So there's like a yellow left at the end. But because yeah, you guys saw my see my avocado there. It's like this beautiful teal. I mean, there's some more like earthy parts to it, but it's just so blue, and I don't understand. So I bet when I get a new batch of avocado, it might be different. But it is one of the advanced colors, which means that you know, they can be a little like trickier to deal with. I don't remember my hands being so sweaty when I worked in lab, but also there, I mean, we also like never put the same gloves back on, just because we had plenty. But okay, I'm always checking because sometimes there's like last minute like you need XYZ for school tomorrow, and it's like, oh gosh, I did something so another funny story. When Lucas started kindergarten, we got him a new backpack, and I got him one that is basically like an adult backpack, which is adorably cute because even though he's tall, he's still little, and so he has a huge backpack. But I did that for in the winter when he needs snow pants and boots and stuff. He can fit it all in one bag, so we forget less, and that works really, really well. Well, this year, Ryder's going to need to bring lots more stuff back and forth. Like he need a raincoat every day and a hat because in case it rains, because they're going outside a lot of the day, and like all these things. And so I knew his preschool backpack really only fit his lunchbox and wouldn't fit everything else that he needed. So I got him a bigger backpack since I can't go into school to help him carry things out. But since it's a pandemic and I didn't really want to like go shopping for a backpack, I was like, well, I like Lucas's backpack, so let's get that same one in a different color. And so Lucas's is like gray with some like blue accents, and Ryder's is black and gray. Well, today, Lucas was going to be home. Ryder was going to school. Last night, I prepped Ryder's backpack, filled his water bottle, put it in Lucas's bag. So Ryder did not have water today. Thankfully, his teachers like sorted him. But I think one was like, oh, I almost like sent you an email. And I'm like, I would have come back. I would have brought water. But it was fine, and he had plenty to drink. So, is avocado the new yellow? We had a lot of issues with yellow. There was some other color. There were some blues that some people had issues with in terms of just the color. But yeah, I mean, at least like, because I would think that avocado would have gone really nicely in this project, at least the color that I'm thinking of. But some avocados are more, maybe it depends on the type of avocado that you have, because some are more like less brown than others. You thought I mislabeled the moss? No. No, I definitely did not mislabel the moss. Yeah, the moss is also around what I thought the avocado would be. But let's make that go away so you guys will be able to see. Let me get a photo of it so I can have it for the recap. I love how this is looking, you know, I think next to the chartreuse, it looks brown in comparison, but in my eye, which hopefully it's not because this light is so yellow, even if it's brown, we'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. Okay, we're checking. That's pretty good. I didn't measure how much acid went in here tonight,
I just sort of went for it. Because that is the name of the game today. Okay. The good news is, lifting it up this time, everything is starting to look appropriately sandy, which is making me happy. And so in here, there's some light patches, but we're also seeing spread of color, and some white is not bad today. Sometimes some white is like, makes me want to get very angry, but tonight it's not as much of an issue. But we will still be flipping this more times because that's what I do. But yeah, things like this and like the amount of time that I put into these skeins, this is why I have trouble understanding how people can dye like hundreds in a day. Because I feel like even if I had more pans and like more burners, I suppose if I had like burners set up in my garage, I could go down the line and keep doing it or something. But there's definitely some techniques. I'm aware of the fact that there are some techniques that as a small batch dyer, it is easier to do. Just talking with other indie dyers, like when you have to repeat colorways, it can be harder to do some of these small ones. So while like there's a lot I've done and there's things that I'm confident in my ability and whatnot, there's definitely a lot that I still have to learn. But you guys, I'm dreaming of a proper studio where like people can actually come visit. A studio that is not my kitchen, where I can go and like work and dye and just stream like all the time. Oh man, yeah. Oh. But okay, masky mask. Okay, my mask is getting sweaty now too. It has been so cold recently. So cold. And then it warmed up a bit today. But it has been so cold, and so we haven't had like the air conditioning or anything come on. And then now here I am dying, which definitely is going to make things steamy. Oh dear, that was a lot. That was too much. But it's okay. It's a rock on my sandy beach. I think sand dune is absolutely a favorite color of mine. Not quite like frozen. Oops, I forgot about this spot. There we go. Not quite like frozen, but I think it'd be hard to beat frozen in the like Rebecca Yarn of Fame colors. Yarn of Fame. I'm babbling now. Olive brown is absolutely a color that I want to play more with. So, okay, here is where the gold goes. Golden straw. I love layering colors. It's kind of like, oh, it's just so fun. I dream of like being able to put my dye on shelves. So I can just like, I want like one of those like spice shelves kind of thing, but with jars of dye, and I can just look and then easily pick. But right now I have like the dyes going bins and okay. We've been daydreaming, not that I think it would happen, but we've been daydreaming about building a house. And so therefore I've been dreaming about what my dream studio would be, which would absolutely include track lighting on the ceiling. For filming, which is a little weird. Not something people usually necessarily put in their homes, but oh, I've been dreaming. Sometimes some people ask me about like our garage. Our garage is not a good candidate for conversion. There's no water in it, and it'd be really hard to bring water in from the house. It also has no heat or air conditioning, which is also an issue. When it comes to just like yarn and whatnot. So, okay. Chartreuse, and then I can check the chat. So you might notice that I've gotten a little bit lazier. Not with the safety. I'm still wearing glasses and gloves. But after wiping the dye off on my hands on the yarn mop, I'm drying them and then going into the other color because that is where I am now. A little chartreuse down there. All right. Where is spoon? Spoon. What? Oh, spoon is on the counter. I always protect, if people are curious, I protect my counter with a, I protect my counter with an IKEA shower curtain. And that's how that goes down. Let's see. Uh-oh. Show you guys how moppy is coming. It's a little messed up at the moment, but I don't think you guys could really tell. But okay, close, chartreuse. Uh-oh. Is that my imagination? Yes, that was totally my imagination. Oh well. Sweaty hands. I was like, it felt like water got in my glove. It was totally my imagination. And I'm going to set a timer. I originally thought that maybe I'd do multiple colorways, but this is why I did the swatch at the beginning, because I had a feeling that I'd be slow today. But let's pull up the, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy. It's fairly literal, but I'm happy. I mean, I suppose this is like the sand at the bottom versus like, because otherwise like maybe this, the lichen should have been in the middle, but it's fine. It's fine. And here is a like zoomed in. One of the sides is so pretty. Okay, wait, I lost a lot. Oh my gosh, last days of high school, that's amazing.
Aw. Make a vision board. You're dreaming of your own salon space. Ooh. I think I just showed the animal. You're reclaiming a little studio we have in your backyard that they had as their hangout space. Oh, that's so cool. Um, yeah, actually, I suppose a hose, but the hose tap for us is even far from the garage. So, like, when I film in the driveway, like, it's an issue getting water over there. Um, Things that I did not consider when we were house hunting. Um, but yeah, everything is just kept everywhere. So I think that like my dream studio would pretty much be something that otherwise would be considered like an in-law suite type thing. If I didn't have like a standalone like shed or something that was like, because then it would have like a stove area. And even though I'm typically anti-stove on an island, I kind of want a stove on an island because can you imagine being able to have shots of me standing and like you could see I can talk to you and look at the camera while I'm doing things on the counter? That would be amazing. So, anyway, I dream. Um, so the dark, so it's actually not, it's more of a green. It's lichen. It is looking a lot more brown compared to the chartreuse, but let me pull up, this is from earlier today. So even there as well, the lichen is looking a little brownish, but it is really, compared to browns, it's very green. So oh no, is it working again? No, the visual is still frozen. Um, if sound, and there's a delay, of course, because this is still frozen. No, okay. I don't know if the sound is back. I'm seeing the sound. Um, no sound. Okay. Because the sound is working. I see it. It's better. Okay. Of course, like. Why does it input weird? Okay. video capture device. Add existing. Which one do I want? This one. Nope, that one's not working. Okay. Video capture. Nope, not window capture. Video capture. Nope. Video. Video. Why can't I read? There we go. An existing. Nope, it's not working. Is there a way to refresh? So annoying. Okay, let's pay more attention when I try to do this again. Add new. Okay, but I want resolution. It's like it's showing up, not, the aspect is weird and it's like cropped. Oh, maybe because it's zoomed. Let me see. Settings. Properties. Sorry, everyone. Zoom out. There we go. This is annoying though. There we go. And we're back. It's not as good as it was, but it's back. Your video, your sound is back. Awesome. So at first I was like, uh-oh, I'm seeing a lot of stuff in the chat. Uh-oh, uh-oh. I was like, wait, what did I do? So I have no idea what I was saying. But thank you for hanging out with these technical glitches, and let's go die. Yeah, die. Okay. Oh my gosh. I love the webcam, but I also hate the webcam because, or maybe it's the software. I don't even know. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, there I want some. It's actually like, there's spots where it's like a little spotty, but it's also a little bit supposed to be spotty. So I'm not mad. But trying to like keep the areas that I want exposed can be hard. But again, a little bit of white, uh-oh, is fine. What I want, so like, it's got that weird green. That's so funny. A little bit of white is okay. Because it doesn't have to be like, have perfect coverage. But, which I have to keep telling myself, because otherwise I'm like, it's gotta be perfect. But it does not, Rebecca. It does not have to be perfect. Oh dear, oh dear. Yay, thank you everyone. New screen is frozen again? No, it's not. Because yeah, the screen is definitely not frozen anymore. It was at one point. You might be watching on the replay versus what's live. I'm sure I have another box of gloves. And I know I'm freaking out. It takes me months to go through a box. And I'm like, what if I run out of gloves? Oh no.
And one thing I'm going to do is like, I'm focusing on these little light areas just to break it up a little bit. But we've been adding sand dune all over. So this isn't something new. All right. What I might not do this time, sorry, golden straw, I think I'm going to skip you because there's some pops of you in here already, and just come in with a lichen. I'd like to use lichen more on its own. If I had more stamina right now, I wasn't feeling a little exhausted, then I'm really tempted to just do an all over color with lichen. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew though. So I'm debating. Probably not. The problem with this is that I can't play with dyed powders like this. Or when I say I can't, I don't want to play with dyed powders like this when Lucas is awake. So I'm being more aggressive now with my wiggles. But again, some white patches are fine. I just don't want like wild white patches. Yeah, I don't like to use dyed powders when the kids are on this floor. Oh man, so I was working on using the Cricut, and I was working on stuff for Lucas's birthday today, and I was like, do not come in. It was really funny. And he's like, what? And I was like, I'm like cutting. What I'm doing now is I'm making him a bunch of bookmarks. Because he loves to read, and, bookmarks disappear. So, moving the color through. And I think we're pretty good. Wait 5 minutes. And then we'll see. It doesn't rhyme. Definitely sweating in here though. Oh. You might notice my chartreuse has been creeping. So today when I was doing the swatching, I actually did it a little differently. In that I did that swatching in a cool pan, which I suppose didn't let me see any speckles really, but I also wasn't really looking for the speckles today. You can see a sock set with this. Take out the chartreuse and use as contrast. Ooh, yes, the lichen and sand with little bits of straw, and then the chartreuse. Maybe just like a tonal chartreuse would be really pretty. Or just to go with it, chartreuse with a little bit of lichen speckles would be really cool too. There's a colorway. So I tried to do a colorway for one of the Dive Into Dyeing videos that I made. And there's one that I need to go see that because I ended up not using it. And I need to go back and see if I still have that footage separate, or if I don't, then it might not become a video, I suppose. But I used with Jacquard, Kelly Green and Chartreuse because I thought
that the chartreuse would be more like this, but actually it was like a bluer green. And so it was deeper. So it was nearly indistinguishable from the Kelly green. And I was like, oh, it doesn't have the contrast I expected. So I shifted because then like, the one difference I would say between the dive into dyeing videos that I made for the Dyer Supplier channel and the ones that I make for me is that since I was doing them, like, what I do here is a tutorial as well, but I try to share the mistakes. But there, when I'm trying to like really demonstrate something, there were a couple things I did refilm because I'm like, I don't want to leave mistakes in when I'm trying to like make a more concise, shorter video. Thank you. Thank you. I really like it. Like, I like green and brown. I don't use them as much, but like a bunch of these, you know how sometimes, and I did this at the end of the over dyeing the shawl video, at the end when I have like yarn dye with citric acid, and then I go and I just sort of like sprinkle it all over and keep moving it, and you get this speckled with a wash of color. It's a subtle colorway. I want to do that with like every color I have. It would take a while, but that would be a really, really fun project. Oh man, it would take a really long time. You know what else would be pretty fun, but also a little interesting to mix together? All of my dye colors. I would need like a lot of plastic spoons or something, and then I'd have a lot of that like colorway. Uh-oh, now I kind of want to do it. Not doing it soon. I feel like the color would end up being navy. So at one point I had like a cup that was left over. Well, the one time I had a spill, I had a navy when I was taking off the lid the first time. It sort of just went everywhere. Not up on my face, thankfully, but like all over a tablecloth. And so I like scraped it into like a plastic container that I saved. And for a while, any leftover dye powders I had, I put in there, thinking that like, ooh, yay, we'll go speckle with this and maybe have like breaking and multicolored speckles. And I used it and like, maybe there's something in there, but this is basically just navy. But if I was a little more even, I wonder what color it would end up. Because it seems like the average, whenever I've mixed together a bunch of food coloring, the average tends to be sort of a mauve color that then breaks slightly green. Tends to be the like average color that I get. So that is what I've seen. I do not have a timer going. Okay, let's go check on this because I forgot to timer. Let's turn it down. As I sing to myself, and then, yeah. So the one problem with school is that we're waking up a lot earlier. During the summer, and for the most part last spring, because neither of them really had school that early. Now, Ryder, we drop him off at like 7:30. And Lucas, his stuff starts at 8:30. So like over the summer, we wouldn't get up. We'd be able to at least stay in bed until about 8. Especially since Keith doesn't have to commute. But now, like, if Keith's going to run in the morning, he has to wake up early. We're all just getting up so early. Oh. Ooh, I like it. See, white patches like that, I am fine with. What I don't want is like I don't want to open this up and feel like, oh, there's like a whole forgotten zone. And maybe I want to break that up a tiny bit. Overall, I'm very happy though. I might just leave it. So that's a spot that maybe I want to break up a little bit. And there we go, down there. Okay. So now I'm sort of trapping, rather than having it scrunched up, I'm spreading it more. And okay, there.
Yeah, okay. The other colors are looking reasonably okay, but I see some wider patches, which aren't like empty, but I don't want them to be I don't want them to be too much. So now I'm just going for our lichen. I'm a lichen it. Sorry. You know it's bad when you start laughing at your own jokes. Oh man. Maybe I'll add creep it up. Just use up the rest I have in my hand. So pretty. All right, I think I'm satisfied. So the one thing left is the yarn mop. And what I've realized is that in theory I could poke holes in this. I want to get, and I almost checked out with it, but I haven't yet. This is so pretty. I want to get a perforated pan that I can put on one of these. That's something I plan to get at some point. But this I need to steam set. And I will probably be doing that as soon as I am done here. Otherwise, cleanup for tonight isn't going to be so bad. But guys, I'm already having nostalgia from that clock live stream where I did so many colorways. I can think of a lot of different fun colorways I could do that really, really work with. Where's our photo? No, well, I mean, right, this is our photo with our rock. I could think of so many fun colorways that we could do here. And I'd love, love, love to do more. But I know I need to listen to my body and not do more. And so I'm missing this summer already. We go 1% stock from everything and then use like a half teaspoon of each to see what the color like is. Yeah, that's a good thing to like to do. And I have to say I don't know anyone else if anyone else likes to swatch with the powders that I do, but given that I like to dye directly from the powder jars and I really enjoy that as a technique, it makes sense to swatch that way because you see like how heavy it goes on with the powder to get a sense of like, okay, how quickly does it strike if I want to try to get a pastel wash? Do I need to dissolve it first or can I do it this way? So yeah. But you know what I haven't tried? I haven't tried doing this, starting cold with no acid. That should be something I should try. I don't think I've tried this exactly. I might have. Sometimes I forget. In Friday's video, I was like, oh, when I did this last time, and then when I went and looked, I was like, oh, I've never done it before. I actually have not done this before. I've done something similar, but in my head, like, I confused something, and so I was like, oh, I actually hadn't done it before when I thought I had, and so that was really funny. Yeah, but all right, anyway, I am exhausted. Do you guys remember when I did a 6-hour live stream once upon a time? I feel like, oh man, once upon a time was so long ago.
I wish, and if not for the pandemic, I would have done some more like mystery, like draw live streams. I had plans to do. I was gonna try to do them maybe like every other month. Was like my goal for 2020 because they just are so much fun. But anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll get a routine. We'll see how this all goes. That's what I have to keep telling myself. That's why I'm glad that I joined a knit along. I was like, I just needed that. I needed to just like step away from electronics for a little bit. And it's been great. But tonight's awesome. And I really appreciate all of you tuning in because I also just needed some time with some dye pans because, yeah, maybe after I do the coloring, maybe I'll do like a mega time lapse where like I dye a bunch and just do a voiceover. That's something else that I need. I feel because then like I watch shows and stuff while I do it, and then speed it up, and then I watch the sped up version and try to like chat during it, which is funny. No, I'm sorry. Now I'm gonna. Nope, I'm not gonna sneeze. I'm taking care of myself. I'm just anxiety and like stress definitely like triggers like a flare up, a fatigue flare up and stuff, which I don't currently feel like I'm full blown in a flare up because I'm still like functioning somewhat, but it's always like, okay, let's not go too far so that way I can still function and I don't lose like a week. Yeah, but I also know it's not just me. I know everyone is like trying to figure this all out. So, yeah. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you mix guar gum with the powder dyes when you speckle, would it not spread out as much? I would not mix guar gum powder directly with the acid dyes. You definitely want to dissolve the guar gum well because it can kind of like glob up. If you use too much guar gum, then like it can start to like solidify and be a little hard to rinse out. So I don't recommend it. The amount of guar gum that you use is like so tiny. So no, I don't think that would work. Because the reason why the guar gum prevents the dye from spreading is it's a thickener and it makes it more like, since the dye is more viscous, then it doesn't sort of spread through the damp yarn. And so I don't think the same would happen with the dye because the dye would still start dissolving. Yes. Oh, spoon theory. Highly recommend spoon theory. But all right, I'm going to head out. Links, Hanukkah. There's like more Hanukkah samplers and all kinds of stuff. It's all in the description down below. And yeah, and if you want to, I should put up the other picture. No, I want it. All right, and if you would like to be featured in the Dye Along recap, and see, I put a little, I even put some colors at the very top, the top of the photo. I have some colors that I pulled from the image. Anyway, if you would like the yarn that you dye, or fiber, or whatever you want to dye, inspired by this photo to be featured in the recap, which will come out sometime in October, probably the end, the way things are going. Share your photos on Instagram with the hashtag ChemKnitsDyeAlong, or look for this photo on my Facebook page and reply to a comment. I do have that Facebook photo linked down below so you can find it really easily. And then I will pick a bunch and add them to the video because it's just really fun to see how different people interpret one image. And the recap from last month came out this afternoon. So if you haven't watched that, as soon as I sign off, you can go watch it. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll chat with you soon. Bye. It's been a while. I feel like it's just been a while, even though I did this like a month ago. It just feels like it's been a long time. But anyway, right, and I'll probably be on tomorrow, I think tomorrow night, to unbox Dive into Dyeing Level 2 and my other knit crate boxes. So, good night, everyone. Bye.